The UN Security Council and the Secretary General have called on Myanmar to halt military operations and end the violence against Rohingyas. The UN Security Council discussed the situation in Myanmar at a closed-door meeting. It condemned the violence in Rakhine state that has led to the displacement of over 250,000 people. The Security Council called on the Myanmarese government to facilitate long-term solution to the crisis, including implementation of the recommendations of the Kofi Annan Committee. Earlier, Secretary General Antonio Guterres appealed to the Myanmarese government to stop the violence and allow the Rohingyas to return home.
Aid activities by UN agencies and international non-governmental organizations have been severely disrupted. I call on the Myanmar authorities to suspend military action, end the violence, uphold the rule of law, and recognize the right of return of all those who had to leave the country.
Statement came even as thousands of Rohingya continued to pour into refugee camps in Bangladesh. People carrying children, the aged and their belongings walked hundreds of kilometers to these camps near the border with Myanmar. The exodus has been non-stop since the Myanmar security forces launched their counter-offensive to the August 25th attack by Rohingya terrorists on police posts and an army camp. As the situation turns critical in Myanmar and the camps in Bangladesh face shortage of supplies, Indonesia sent 4 Hercules planes full of aid and supplies. The Indonesian president flagged off the supplies to the Myanmar-Bangladesh border. Rice, instant food, family kits, water, tents and clothing were sent for the refugees.
Pada pagi hari ini akan diberangkatkan oleh pesawat Hercules yang di dalamnya ada beras, ada bantuan makanan siap saji, ada family kits, ada tangki air, tenda untuk pengungsi, serta pakaian anak, serta selimut. Karena memang barang-barang inilah yang sangat diperlukan.
And she is the lady who rarely speaks, and when it comes to the Rohingya exodus from Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi has not spoken at all. We in fact informed the lady will break her silence, but that has not enthused her friends and allies, chiefly in the West, who will feel betrayed by the Nobel Peace Prize winner's attitude. Even the intervention of a fellow Nobel Prize winner could not move Suu Kyi.
For our children for a second, it's actually happening. So we need to wake up and respond to it. And I hope that Aung San Suu Kyi, she responds to it as well, and also the global community of leaders also.
Another laureate, the 85-year-old and ailing Archbishop Desmond Tutu, threw in his bit. In a letter to her, he wrote, and I'm quoting here, "My dear sister, if the political price of your ascension to the highest office in Myanmar is your silence, the price is surely too steep. We pray for you to speak out for justice, human rights and unity for your people. We pray for you to intervene." Let's go straight across to our guest, Subib Hom, a consulting editor of Mizima, joining us live from Kolkata. Are you surprised with Suu Kyi not breaking her silence and continuing to attract criticism despite desperate appeals coming in from the world over?
Yeah, the desperate appeals made by people like Desmond Tutu does not take into the fact the realities in Myanmar. You have to understand that Aung San Suu Kyi is neither the president nor the prime minister of the country. 3 of the ministries that deal with security, defense, home and border affairs are with the army. As per the constitution, 1/4 of the MPs are from the military. Now, let me get this right, okay? Aung San Suu Kyi, after the massive violence in 2016, October, set up the commission on Rakhine, headed by former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan. The committee that had 9 members, 6 of them from outside. Can you imagine that happening in India or even Bangladesh? No. And 6 of these members are from outside, 3 from Myanmar, one of them being the chairman of the state. Human Rights Commission, who is an official functionary of the government of Aung San Suu Kyi. On August the 24th, this commission came out with its report, which talked of inter-ethnic dialogue, giving Rohingyas freedom of movement, freedom of religion, clearing the verification process, giving them back citizenship as and when the verification is cleared. Aung San Suu Kyi accepted these recommendations and promised that she will implement them, and she's still saying so. She will implement them, and she will set up an interministerial committee.
Right.
Then what happened? On the night of 24th, the Arakan Rohingya Solidarity Army, backed by the ISI, we have definite evidence, there have been intercept of their calls between ISI Brigadier Ashraf and Hafiz Tohar of ARSA, the military wing chief.
So Aung San Suu Kyi definitely has attracted criticism, not just from the civil society.
These criticisms are not justified.
Absolutely. Appreciate those inputs and perspectives coming in. We're going to leave it there for the moment, thanking Mr. Bhowmick also for joining us on the broadcast.